So I have known Manish Bhai since almost a couple of years, and since you all have seen the CV, I think it is better if I share my personal experiences. So as a university, we have always been discussing about how to bridge the gap between the academics and the industry. So I have been looking up to him, who really has the ideal balance of having the experience as an entrepreneur, of setting up one of the finest industries in Rhino Industries, and he is also involved in education through skill programs, and they have a tie-up with Swiss vocational institutes, and the focus there again is pedagogy, right? So a lot of similarities on things that we believe at RKU, right? That we are also striving hard to work on the pedagogy part, right? The technical content is always going to be with all. How we deliver it is the key factor. So in spite of being in industry, he has really felt this has to be imbibed in the academics for the long-term benefit of industries, right? So that is the vision, that what is required 5 years, 7 years down the line. He has started, he is being one of the front runners from corporate and industrial sector in contributing to these areas so that industries are benefited along with the academic. So very few people share this type of vision and have that boldness to stand out of the crowd, right? So without wasting much time, I would request him to share his views, and as discussed previously, he would really love it if it is more interactive, right? So let us all make it more interactive. Thank you.
So, thank you, Danish Bhai. We complain a lot about CIA, but this is one of the best things that CIA has done, is connecting us. So out of that, I can reach the best. So for me, networking is one of the biggest strengths of CIA, and I always acknowledge their networking strength. If CIA was not there, I would not be here. So with all the complaints which we have of CIA, I'll put that on one side and put CIA on a different platform when it comes to networking. It's an amazing network of people, and it has helped me really understand.
It's 48 hours that way, but it is industrial internship for faculty specifically.
And it's also your faculties, we're not talking of students.
Yeah.
Students are your outcome.
Yeah, it is other than what the time they spend for industry visit or projects or anything.
So how much time do the faculties invest as a percentage of their time of engagement with the college in a year? So for me, it is 365 days into 24 hours. I don't know what about the faculties.
3%.
So calculation to समझा ना sir.
And again, if we assume that faculty is working 8 hours per day, and if we just calculate the working days, it will be 200 working days per year. And if
So it is 1600 hours.
Yeah, 48 divided by 1600, it will be 3%, roughly.
Okay. And you know how entrepreneurs calculate? 365 days into 24 hours.
But I am really more realistic.
So reality is, you don't say that I eat only once in a day. 8 hours means you will eat only once. Right? You don't say that I eat only breakfast or only lunch, I also eat dinner. If you are an entrepreneur, or if you are somebody who is really involved, and that is why I have to go beyond working hours. So if you see any successful entrepreneur, they find time, and now everywhere I go, every second day I'm asked, Manish Bhai, even he asks me, how do you find so much time? And you see my list of activities, and still I find time to come here. So even 3%, if you say, I'll take your figure. How much of that 3% has really converted into an outcome? Can you measure that? So you have to really ask yourself that question. if you agree with this, then why is it so? The second part is industries. Industries are formed from the students who have gone out of the college. So what they have seen is 3%, which is actually less than 1%, right? And they are doing exactly the same. So what you are sowing is what you are getting. I am a product from Maharaja Sayajirao University. The teaching hours, Hartal, 6 months sitting at home, Navratri, holiday, if I take all that, even 200 hours are. And if I give you the industrial training perspective, which we are talking of Swiss vocational school, can you estimate how many hours you take we do the school in a year? 2200 hours. 2200 hours is the timetable.
The problems, right, and work on a collaborative solution, then that can be one of these solutions. Because HR, they have their own domain, they are more their interest is to recruit a good numbers. And at the end of the day, they will giving us feedback that these are the areas students need to work. But again, what are their expectations? They want to bridge that. And someone need to also step up from their side as well.
So can you identify why it happens like this? Can you identify why it happens like this? Can you ask a question why it happens like this? You have given us problem statement. So can you go one step further and why it happens like this? What if you became the industry and you are in that position? Why you are behaving like this?
Maybe like one of the reasons that I have already piled up with so much of work that I may not be able to.
So one is lack of time. Any other reason?
What is in it for me?
Second reason?
See, essentially industry operates from the perspective of make or buy. So they are here to buy talent. They are not
The third one.
They are not investing in creating knowledge. How many chair professorships are sponsored by industry? I'm talking of SME and MSc.
Yeah.
Right? So the culture of learning.
So these are only three. There should be at least for this problem there will be 10
One
reasons.
maybe like it is uncertain that if they invest time, money, resources, then what will be the outcome? Uncertainty maybe.
So now you see why the whys work. So we can't find a solution today, but I'll give you a perspective from the industry. I can switch over to your side. We have been bringing new tech. For me, it's for example, the Swiss vocational school which we are running. If I take that example as in the academic zone for us, the biggest challenge for us is mobilizing students. Right? So we have the right platform, the right education, everything which the industry needs is there. So we are faced with, because we are part of the industry, I have got a letter of intent from industries for hiring 60 people. My capacity is 40 people. I have got 4 students. So why it happened like this? The aspirational value of vocational skill is very poor. The problem came, we identified 8 problems. The aspirational value, our institute was not registered in the state government portal. It was in the NSDC. This is what you are teaching, and now I am trying to explain to you why. Start looking into the mirror. You posed a question, did you ask another 5 whys for that question? Have you actually documented your 5 whys for every question which you have asked? So I'm not, please take this a very candid, no disrespect to anybody, either industry or faculty. And even if you take, it doesn't matter to me. Because I am neither in the education nor I am come here to sell anything, because if I don't speak what I think, and if I not put my thoughts in front of you, it may be right or wrong, I may not be able to do something worthwhile, which Danish Bhai has given me such a opportunity, so I should use it. So a lot of times we stop at the first question, and this we have seen in industry as well as every part of life. We don't ask why the industry found this problem. Have we gone into the depth and start asking the questions to the industry? Have we? And I have seen, and my 5S is a Japanese system, but it is one of the biggest, one of the strongest tools which we have seen being implemented for doing Kaizen. You want to do a Kaizen, you need a 5 questions to be asked. And once you reach the fifth why, you will have found the solution also. Right? So I would request you to just put these questions to the 5 whys and let us share a document. Every problem will have 5 reasons. Every problem will have 5 reasons, and every reason will have another 3 reasons. And if you see, you will have a 30 set of questions which are not answered. And here there is only one question. When we reach those 30 sets of questions, probably you will be able to imagine this is what we should do, because there is no ready-made solution. Even the industry does not know what they want. Well, you are saying the industry has come. The industry itself does not know what does it want. So what is the best way? Is to transfer my responsibility to you. You are the scapegoat. You are the supplier. I am the customer. Customer is God. You cannot say no. It's a principle of life. So for us, the relationship between you and me is I am a customer, you are a supplier. So this institutional linkage is, there were some more hands when I asked. In the sweater, you had raised your hand.
I will recall that.
Okay. So any other thoughts on this question? Any other questions?
Sorry, if you look at India, how much contribution industries are giving for R&D?
Responsibility on the students or the industry. So what message I am trying to tell you is, have you really tried to articulate what help the student is going to give to the industry? Have you been able to identify that? So again, I'll give the example of Kodari Bhai when he started asking me how to identify industry projects. I told him one of the strongest subjects, again I go back to Six Sigma and Lean, is Gemba. Gemba means you walk into an industry and start identifying 7 wastes. If you are able to identify the waste in any industry, they will allow you inside. And who can identify the waste? The faculties. You have to create your own space, sir. If I have grown in this industry, there is only one very strong tool which I use is Gemba. It is part of the mind, I have not learned it. I walk into, so I'll give you an example of this Swiss Vocational. We are the only institute housed in an MSME in our country. I walk into a space where people have not even dared to put their foot in. But I know this is a solution. We have invested over there. It's a solution. And we have confidence in that solution. The first day people asked me, what will happen? I said, I know how to get my return of investment because I was not getting money from the 4 people who are getting trained. I was getting my production up by 5% by indirect training. So when my faculties learn the way of Swiss pedagogy, what is it going to change? It is going to change my industry. So you may say I must have invested 1 crore in education, but I increased my turnover and I found myself free for other business. I increased my turnover 2 times. I invested 1 crore and earned 5 crores. And as a Gujarat, if after living in Gujarat, I cannot understand ROI. So when you are going as a faculty, when you are studying students, are you really calculating or really understanding what is the value proposition you are giving to the industry? It is not articulated. We just get a letter, sir, tomorrow I am sending 2 students, please sign for the internship, you define the project and you do everything. If industry was a faculty, why would they need a college? Yeah.
This time my experience was different in this what you were saying. My students went to pathology labs. The honors there say that we have only samples, what kind of work you want to do. We discussed with them that such and such type of samples used to come to you. We can design a case study. We discussed with that so and so group of patients you can give to them and they can study them. Then only they agreed that okay we will allow.
वो तो हमको खाली डेटा एंट्री का काम करवाते हैं. तो क्या कर रहे हैं? तुम्हारे वहाँ जगह ही नहीं. You go to Europe now. You start analyzing a Swiss, German, Austrian, or those economies where if you see the studies, Swiss have 3% in unemployment. 3%. They have never gone through a recession. They are one of the best quality products. Whatever they touch is the best in the world. What is the reason? It's only people. So such a small country which has not been part of the European Union, which has got a very strong currency, which is where people put their money, Swiss banks, best watch, best chocolate. So what is so good about it? Is the human capital ecosystem which is there. They go through a vocational course and 70% of the students go through this 2-year, 3-year vocational program before getting into engineers. So the UBS bank, one of the biggest banks of Switzerland, the managing director or the head went through a commerce banking vocational course and then went into, so there is a lot of upward mobility. There is an upward mobility, there is a cross mobility in education. It does not exist in India. So if you are an ITI, you are branded in ITI, you are a technician, you are a worker, you are a laborer. Finished. An engineer will not work by their own hand. I have learned everything I know each and everything to be done in my factory by myself. And very few engineers are ready to dirty their hands. So how are you going to manage people if you don't know how to do it yourself? So this is one of the vocational areas where, again, if you start interacting with the industry and encourage students to get into the vocational part, it will take them a very long way. I learned electrical drawing and wiring from a technician sitting on top of a monorail beam at 4 meters. And I still remember in '92 how I learned electrical drawing. Nobody taught me in college, but I learned from a technician. So it took me so much time. But if you are doing that in the 4 years of education, you are really impacting their life in a very, very strong way. So this ratio which we have, I found that instead of 1:3, actually in Anand, we have 3 engineers and 1 technician. So we are 30 times skewed. So that is the core of the problem. Why I am working in the vocational school and why not engineers? I withdrew from the engineering colleges. That why should I try to repair something? I should start at the root cause. The root cause is not the engineering college. The root cause is our education system as a whole. And the funniest part, there was a student who wanted to do an IT internship in our company. The college said, you are not an IT company, so she cannot do it only. So I thought whether I should write to the chairman or not. That are you going to teach them application or you want to teach them IT? The reason for going to the industry is to do the application of what they have learned. Industry is not going to teach them IT. And I don't know what to answer to that college. And then we have to get into the industrial body, which is a little difficult job because they are also run by the industry. So if you make a change, if you talk of 5 industries or in the CIA MSME panel, we said, forget CIA. We use the CIA logo but do what we want to do. We are all ready. We are able to get that, and Danish Bhai is part of that team. So we will find a way how to use the industrial platform. We will not allow the industrial platform to go away. It is a strong network platform, and people will come. So this is a slide which I have taken from Industry 4.0, but if you see all this discussion, there are 2 things which are very important as a business tool within education. Is acquisition of data, which I have been talking about, and connecting it to the solution. So if you take that, it will really, if you start your faculty engagement with the students and you start thinking from a different perspective, probably your teaching methodology will also change. And this is what I was teaching them, and you just put your faculty engagement with the students in these steps. So why a student has come to you? Have you really asked a question what they are looking for? Do we have a database? What should I measure? How should I measure? How do I analyze it? So colleges do something in bits and pieces, but is it really structured? Is it going to lead us to something which is having a decision? And whether it's a smart factory or I have tried to put, unless you have all these stakeholders together, means you have to work on all these areas together. They cannot work in isolation. The solution will not come if you work in isolation. And we are moving in this direction. So even the education has to be predicted, not only in the industry, right? And this is something which I learned in the, even I was stumbled by this question.